Alright, so the content patch that we're in is about the 14th of December. This is the second week where we got our Carnival unit. This was the Gotenks this year, but was the Trio last year. If we come down here, we already had our World Tournament, and we arrive at the New Year's banner. And I wanted to talk about the New Year's banner, but most importantly, I wanted to say, if you are interested in getting into Dokkan, get into it right now. And we'll expand on why you should get into it right now, rather than waiting exactly for the 10th anniversary. Even though I get it, 10th anniversary is going to be where the hype is. Maybe you don't want to kind of have chores, quote unquote, to do while you wait for it, but I promise this will set your account up much more smoothly than trying to get into the 10th Annie and you just want to use the new units, but now you have all these events to grind before you can even play with the characters that you just farmed, right? Okay. If we look here from Fluidity Ninja, they say that they started their count during the 7th Annie. I've completed most of the stories, easy A battles. I've never bought stones except the occasional ticket, growth packs. Maybe about 100 of my stones have been paid for. They spend 7,050 red coin, 90 on yellow coin, 590 on blue coins, 1,800 on teal coins, and 1,474 are currently saved. That's roughly 11,000 free-to-play stones I have acquired in about 6 months. Reminder, though, that we have gotten we've essentially gotten 3 years of content since then, right? We're coming up on the 3rd year. We have more things to do than ever. The 7th year was a big time for Dokkan, but it gets blown the fuck out of the water by what we've gotten in the 9th year as far as content patch is gone. Even though it feels kind of weird to say, because if you've had your account for a long time, then these stones are used up, right? These stones are gone, essentially, because gacha games don't just create brand new stones out of old events that you've already cleared typically. Dokkan does work on a ticket system, but you need characters for that. The reason I'm saying you should start now is because you're going to want to start piecing away at some of this stuff, and the New Year's characters will be a great time to do it, and we can hop over to Dokkan in-game to see why. So when I started Dokkan last year, this was the character, essentially, that I had to help me out when the game first started. He gives you a generic leader skill. He's since been easy aid, so this leader skill is even better, right? But now that we've come into the big push for Dokkan going to the 10th anniversary, we can see that Dokkan clearly has a game plan, and just like I have a game plan, which is to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, if you like the video but you haven't liked the video, it would really help if you subscribed, liked the video, left a comment, etc., etc. Either way, now we have these characters who fill out a full team. Remember, when I started, we didn't have this. This is important because this is still grinding. You're going to want to get this grind done, because getting into farming the Dokkan medals for the 10th anniversary characters, and especially the New Year's characters, is going to be a bit tumultuous if you don't have any characters built at all. As well as needing, when you awaken these characters, you still need materials to actually get them to, right? You can look at my account and be like, oh, I just click the anything button and I get 1 billion of them and he goes straight to full level, but that's not something you're going to have access to. You're going to want to do this because, let's say you want to do this Trunks, you need these medals. And they're going to hand you a bunch of these, but one of the big problems I found when I started Dokkan, and I started during a major celebration. I started when the God Goku from last year came out. So even though I was getting and receiving materials in bulk in a batch because it was a major celebration, I still wasn't getting the wealth of medals I needed to awaken all of these different characters, right? One of the fortunate things about current Dokkan is because you get this Earthbred Fighters team, even though you might want to do this grind eventually, and they did streamline it a bit so it's easier, so it's faster, etc., etc., the Ginyu Force are still very necessary because you still do need these characters with categories to get the most out of your account. Remember, if they aren't on these teams and you need to do a team-specific mission, you're not going to have access to those stones until you get this done. And look at the leveling priority. I've had these characters since the beginning of my account. This is the first thing I farmed, really. And I still don't have them, level 10 links because I moved on pretty quickly from them. And just because you end up grabbing these characters doesn't mean you need to use them forever, but consistency is extremely important when it comes to Dokkan Battle. Another thing I want to show is that when you come over to the event, I actually started a JP account when the 9th anniversary was going on because Dokkan for Global was dead for literally 6 months. Dokkan didn't get anything on Global for 6 months. I guess you could count Rose, but he was still pretty dog shit. What I did during the 9th anniversary to get those stones is I did something called Easy A battles. And the reason this was easy to do is because I made sure to farm up my story, get my stones, pull Beast Gohan, and then all of this content that's outdated. The thing about them is, say I go to Videl here, or not Videl, sorry. One of the quickest ways to get stones is, say I go to, if Dokkan will be merciful here. Okay, say I go to one of the big easy A's here. We need to specifically go to an LR, right? So, okay, let's go. They're not all available right now, so it's hard to say. Let's say we'll go to this Vegeta. So a big thing about this Vegeta is that he is weak to accelerated battle when he attacks you. And you might be thinking, okay, so I need to put accelerated battle characters on my team so that I can defend his strong attacks. The thing about that is, no, you don't. When the new characters come out, they're usually so strong that they just dwarf whatever the game can throw at you. So what I did during the 9th anniversary on my JP account, which had nothing, I literally started it a week beforehand, is I pulled on the Beast banner, I pulled on the Broly banner, I pulled on the Gogeta banner, etc., etc., and I punched these Easy A legendary battles to death using the Link skill legendary power. And these battles can't really compete typically with our anniversary characters. They just get flattened. And you might need to restart and you might need to reset, but you'll get those stones. This is like one of the easiest farms for quick currency when you're just starting a new account and you've just finished the story mode. So what I'm saying, you should get this free-to-play team done now. You should get the Earthling, the Earthbred Fighters team done now. It's because you want those characters ready to go with their Dokkan medals so that you don't have to spend a bunch of time, you know, retrying Dokkan events, right? That's like the most boring version of that. You're not even getting stones for that, right? You're not even getting anything. You're just progressing towards getting medals for a character you actually want to play with. So I would definitely suggest starting now, because it's just waiting here. You know, a lot of that content's going to be waiting here. The moment the anniversary starts, even though I was scrolling down here and there aren't that many available, there are going to be many Dokkan events waiting during the anniversary, because they typically do, and they run a special event where you can farm essentially all of them. See, right now there's not that many accessible, but I promise you, when the 9th anniversary is running, this was rainbow. You know, it was all the legendary characters. And another great reason why you just want to get into this stuff is that all of these Dokkan chapters have so many stages that each give you 3 stones, and you just need to get through this. Like, all of it's autoable, you don't really have to pay attention, but we're at chapter 6 with area like 38, 34, and if you click on those areas, they have subdivisions, you know what I mean? 333, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So you're getting so many stones from doing this, 6 here, and there's just no reason to not get ahead of this. It's not content that's going to be interesting when you're in the anniversary. You want to just be done so you can take these characters into the fun fights. This is not the fun part of Dota, right? This is not the fun part of Dokkan. The fun part of Dokkan is taking your characters into challenge events. And it's because Dokkan has set itself up in a way that the challenge events are basically all that really matter. You know, when this stuff drops, you're going to want to be there for it. You don't want to be waiting around like, I just need to get my story done so maybe I can get a few more pulls on the banner, right? You want to have that available to you immediately so you can actually take on these fights. The other thing is, the 9th anniversary characters were able to clear every single one of these boss battles because the power creep is just such that these characters can't really keep up. These fights were designed for characters who were so much weaker than the ones we have now. Like, you just blow them out of the water. So it's just a bunch of free stones again, right? It's inarguable that you should wait for Dokkan to drop the 10th anniversary. You should just start now. The only thing that would make this different is if they ran a campaign where if you created your account in that same time span, they give you like 10,000 stones or something. Because remember, that person from their 7th anniversary weight, their free-to-play account, made about like 10,000. I'm not saying that your number is going to look like that, but your number is going to dwarf mine. You know, I've been saving for 6 months, 5 months. Look how many stones I have. 2,055. You're going to crush this number in your first week because of your free stones. I don't have those things to farm. You can. And last but not least, let's just take a look at something here. So I don't want to compare this moment to, you know, Daima, Tamagami fighting Goku. You know, a superhero was obviously, this movie was very big for Dragon Ball and garnering more interest in the series after the anime had ended, etc., etc. I don't want to compare that to Daima, but what we do need to compare is the push that Daima is getting. Daima is already in Legends. Daima just took up a slot in Legends Fest. Daima is airing Dokkan and Legends ads every single week around episodes. They're creating advertisements around Daima. Dokkan is getting new art, it seems like, made to advertise for Daima. When Daima drops, and it's probably going to be this New Year's, because this is the time slot, we might be looking at characters who are not only just like year 10 level, but could be anniversary level, like these guys were. Even though this character, you know, least Gohan, lol, this character survived for a long time. He had dips and peaks and valleys and such, but he was runnable for a very long time. He might lose you the run, but you could have him on your team, and there were definitely weaker characters to be running. That's the same with this guy, who was the best character in the game for longer than any character has ever been. He might only be trumped by the AGL UI Goku, who seems like he'll just be good forever. That said, he's so strong because he's a very special character. We might be seeing the same thing come Tamagami 3 and Goku, or maybe they even do a Daima, Vegeta, and Goku, because as of recording this, the Vegeta versus Tamagami 2 fight should have just happened. So it's like, this could be special. If you start now, you're already getting those stones in. You can definitely pull on both characters for New Year's and still have more than enough for anniversary. It's time to start. If you like the video, subscribe to join the club. We all gonna make it. Peace.